All right. Morning, members of the media, and let me thank you for responding to our invitation. I expect a couple of my colleagues to come, but I don't want to keep you here indefinitely, and I know you're going to be at Parliament at 2 o'clock. So I'm just going to read a short statement, and then I'll be available for questions after. On Sunday, March 26, the People's National Party will be hosting a Special Delegates Conference to elect the new leader of the party. The conference will be held at the National Arena, commencing at 10 o'clock. As consistent with the party's constitution, the delegates list for this Special Delegates Conference will be the same that was used at the last annual conference in September of 2016. Our party chairman is here. There will be no voting, as there is only one nominee, who is Comrade Peter Phillips, who will be elected by acclamation. While the conference is termed a Special Delegates Conference, and we will have delegates and observers, it will also be open to the general public, and the general public will be accommodated, and we are encouraging members of the general public to come. There will be reserved seating on the ground floor in the middle of the arena for delegates and accredited observers. In the morning session, we'll start with a devotion and a sermon from a pastor. The chairman will do his opening remarks. As General Secretary, I'll do a brief report on the nomination process. There will be short presentations from the 6 regional chairpersons, and then the election of the new president, Comrade Peter Phillips. As we move into the early afternoon session, we'll have feature presentations by the current party leader, Comrade Portia Simpson Miller, the former party leader, Comrade P.J. Pattison, and the arms and affiliates will give very short endorsements. And the highlight of the conference will be the presentation by the then newly elected leader, Comrade Peter Phillips. And we anticipate that he will be speaking somewhere around 2 o'clock. In terms of logistics and security, all persons coming into the arena will be subjected to a search by the security forces. No weapons will be allowed inside the arena, and persons who are licensed firearm holders will have to make arrangements for the safekeeping of their weapons. And as consistent with major events at the stadium complex, there will be minor traffic changes to facilitate the ease of persons coming into the stadium complex. The media will be allowed to have access to the entire conference from the beginning to the end, and we will have a designated area that the media will operate from and a designated liaison officer. And I think most of you would have been informed of a meeting tomorrow at 10 to go through some of those technical details. But those are the details for the Special Delegates Conference, and I'm open to questions.
There will be no ballot voting.
Right.
But at some point, who will leave this? What form will the acclamation process take?
So, as General Secretary, I will do a report. You know, we had a nomination period, and at the end of the nomination period, there was only one nominee. So I'll report to the conference that there was only one nominee. The 6 regional chairs will provide an endorsement from each of their regions, and the chairman of the party will put to the delegates the fact that there is only one nominee and ask for his election via acclamation.
Will it be something similar to those in favor as in Parliament?
Or no, because there's only one, so
yeah, nobody
it's not like a yes/no vote. It's only one person, so
that's why it's an affirmation.
An affirmation or an acclamation or confirmation, whichever term you want to use. So it's not that those in favor aye and then those against no. I mean, there's only one. It's not a resolution being brought. It's only one nominee. So if you only have one nominee. In the same, let's take the example, for example, in our election system. You have a nomination day. If only one candidate nominates on that day, there's no voting on election day because that candidate, by virtue of being the sole nominee, is the winner. It's the same principle here. There's only one nominee.
So the conference itself, they don't really have to say anything more than public of office or...
Yes, because there's only one nominee, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
To know if there was a specific...
No. I mean, people might stand up, people might shout, people might cheer, but there's no specific thing because there's no... You're not trying to move a resolution or pass anything. He's the only nominee.
Same rules apply where at annual conference somebody can nominate from the floor?
Well, remember, we put in place this nomination process so that the secretariat could prepare. I mean, as you know, I think Paul in 2004 nominated our three from the floor, and that created a challenge because to prepare for an election, you have to do a list, you have to give people notice, etc. So at annual conference, remember now, at every annual conference, we have an election of the president and the 4 vice presidents. At every annual conference.
Yeah, the office is held for a year.
For a year, so you always have an election.
Yeah.
Now, whether you have voting is another matter. So what has happened in the past, if you get to the point at the end of a nomination period where there's only one nominee, then that person is just affirmed or acclaimed at the annual conference without voting. In a sense, this is the same principle. You only have one nominee at the end of the nomination process, so Dr. Phillips will be affirmed or acclaimed come Sunday.
Last annual conference, I know that some special facilities were provided for the media, like Wi-Fi.
So you're putting in a plug for that. We can make those arrangements.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, we'll have to ensure only you have access to it, and not all 12,000 people in the arena.
Oh, okay. So media Wi-Fi.
Yeah, man. No, and we're going to, as I said, there's a meeting I think tomorrow at 10 to go through some of the technical arrangements for Sunday with the media and where you'll be set up and the designated areas, etc.